Nandan will have a lot of data. The UIDAI will have a lot of data. Is that something companies would be interested in accessing, and would that be available on
Well,
sale?
the data in our database will be completely private because we don't want privacy to be affected. So we are really an authentication database. The only thing you can do with the database is confirm is X or not. It's only for authentication purpose.
I think as long as it stays in the form of just identifying an individual and has not added on other aspect of what the person's consumption patterns are, what else is he doing, then the information coming out of this database is limited from a user's perspective like ours. The primary purpose, as I understand it, is just now is to have a unique identity, and the value of that unique identity, which is absolutely compelling when you start thinking in terms of people at the bottom of the pyramid, people who are not getting included and actually excluded from the economic activity. The central message which I'm getting out is, while that case is compelling, from the project's point of view, if the ambition is to get national and universal coverage, we must be sharper in the articulation of the compelling benefit for other segments who do not see the advantage. There is no targeted subsidy which you need to give, etc. But the thing which has emerged to me just now in all of this is beyond the radical thought that Kishorji had, but even what Martin, you said. For all future mobile phones, because mobile phone is a compelling requirement for a consumer today. For all future mobile phones, it is not an additional or an alternative. If this was the only way you could get a mobile phone, if you got a UID, as different from, you could either fill the forms or you could get a UID and that would suffice. I'd say you can only get it if you have this. And it's not about new people. You could only get a recharge if you've got a UID. Now the mobile industry may not like it for a while, but in the end, it is the quickest way.
I'm not suggesting it right now because I'll have a remote on my hand.
But it would be dramatic in terms of
coming quickly to react to this brainstorming.
The reality is, this is all about security.
Yeah.
This country is very much aware of security issues. And that is why we are also interested in who owns this phone. It has nothing to do with marketing purposes. It's really about security. And even today, although we are doing our utmost, we as Vodafone have over 1 million retail outlets, and I can tell you not all of these guys are so completely careful with all these forms. I've seen myself going to shops in Orissa that I find 3 or 4 forms with the same passport, and they're blank forms that just, you know, somewhere in the system they will be filled out and they will be signed, which is a real security risk because you don't know where this mobile phone ends up. And if bad stuff happens, the first thing that the police will want to know who owned this phone. So I think by getting that right, that helps the whole society. I think everybody would understand that you would make that mandatory. And again, it takes away a lot of hassle that is already in the system for the customer. So it's one-time hassle, but never again.
But would you be comfortable if Nitin's idea goes through, which is every top-up needs to have a UID?
For a top-up is pretty difficult. But again, with the level of churn we see in the industry and the new customers still to go, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I actually would worry about a different thing, and that is, can you build an enrollment system that can actually handle 500 to 700 million customers in a few years? That would be a far bigger worry than at this moment thinking about the rest.
Okay. Nandan, what are the other industry sectors that will, there will be opportunities or benefits as a result of UID?
In general, in any situation, either in the public sphere or in the private sphere, where there are a set of users or a set of beneficiaries and the quality of that data is suspect, then UID can help to sort it out. To give an example, in the ration card thing, there are a lot of duplicate ration cards. There are a lot of fraud, ghost ration cards, people who don't exist. There are many states where the total number of ration cards is more than the population of the state. So this is all happening today all over the place. Similarly, in the television industry, if there's a need to, for example, know exactly who is, how many consumers are on cable and so forth. So any of these things will benefit from UID, but an exact implementation they have to discuss in their industry.
What all a unique identification number can achieve, and with that, it's a wrap on this special show. Do look out for the grand finale of Lessons in Marketing Excellence next week, when 2 of India's top business schools take on the UIDAI challenge, and that is how to make this a people's movement, a movement in which every Indian gets involved and participates. Thank you for watching.